How's it going, guys? We'll be starting in a couple minutes here. All right, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel Make Money Trucking. So, as you guys know, gliders are no longer being made. I think as of 2020 or 2022. So, I thought I'd take a look at some glider truck prices today. Obviously, the gliders were just going insane in value and prices in the last few years, especially due to the fact that they actually stopped making them as of 2020 or 2022. So we're going to be looking at some glider truck prices and kind of see where those are at today. So without further ado, we're going to get in here and look at some glider trucks and see what the market looks like for those. I'm assuming they're going to be pretty high just because uh, they don't make them anymore, and obviously everybody wants pre-emission trucks, which I do not blame them because I would like one too. It's just hard to find heavy spec glider trucks. So we're on Truck Paper as usual, and we're going to search all manufacturers. And yeah, we're going to look at some glider trucks and see kind of where the market is with these. And I'm not going to have a preference of any specific makes or models. We're just going to look at a general overview. We might slim it down to manufacturers if you guys want to see. This is live, so you guys can comment and let me know, what brand you want to see. There's currently 255 of these glider trucks for sale, give or take maybe a couple, because a lot of times people list these as gliders and they're not actually gliders. And so yeah, we just want to see, what the market looks like. So, just starting off right on the top, we've got a 2003 Peterbilt 389, $99,000. So right off the bat, I was just saying how it was hard to find a heavy spec truck. Well, either they got my cookies and are looking at my search history, which is heavy spec trucks, but we've actually got one right here. Let's go in here and see what. Good morning, Jason. How's it going out there? So yeah, right here we've got a pretty clean example. I do not like off the bat, they're not telling us the mileage. Maybe in the pictures they might have something, but that's a big cat in here, a C16. 600 horsepower, 18 speed, 410 gears. And it does not, let's see here, kind of slow it down. Hopefully the frame rate's not getting too blurry. Double frame, full locking rears. I'm kind of, just for my own peace of mind, when I look at heavy spec trucks, it doesn't denote the rears as being heavy, like 46,000 pound rears. It's got the balloon tire, and this wheel indicates it's got heavy fronts, probably 20K fronts. But yeah, right off the bat, I really don't like when they don't tell us the mileage. But this thing here, pretty clean. Don't see major, wear and tear. It's got full lockers. But yeah, other than the mileage, we don't know what the mileage is. But sometimes people don't really care what the mileage is because, they're just going to plan on driving this for the next 5 years and then probably rebuild it, before then. Yeah, so right off the bat, we're starting with the, heavy haul glider. And as you guys know, gliders are pre-emission trucks. So that's where I'm expecting them to be pretty pricey just because everybody wants one. Here is a 2017 Columbia, pretty standard run-of-the-mill Freightliner glider for $89,000. This one's got just under 500,000 miles. Not too awful, to be honest, as far as like if this is what you're looking for. You don't need nothing, super fancy or heavy spec. Wow, here's a 2017. Again, we're not seeing the mileage on this. I hope this isn't going to be a trend for the video here is, these sellers not putting the mileage. This isn't everybody's flavor, but, for a general freight hauling truck, this thing will go for, easily 1 million miles plus. These trucks they're taken care of in the right way. And you don't got some idiot driving it, or, you're not the idiot who is driving the crap out of it and beating the crap out of it. These will go for 1 million miles. This one's pretty clean. But there again, I didn't see anything about mileage. So off to kind of a rocky start with not all the right information here. Let me see if the description tells us anything about it. 12.7. The 12.7 is underrated on power, but it is by far easily the most reliable, one of the most reliable long-lasting engines out there. They're cheap, they're affordable, parts are readily available, and you can find parts anywhere. And any old school mechanic knows how to work on these. I have a problem with my trucks. They're newer Freightliners, so you got to have the Freightliner software. And I don't go to dealerships, so I gotta go to independent shops, and they don't always have the software. Where most shops will have Cummins or Caterpillar software, or might even be like a PACCAR type of software. Where Detroit's a little hard to come by. Let's keep on going on a list. I just hate, none of these really going to give us the mileage on these trucks? So I don't know if that's good. Well, let's just keep going. So here's a 2015 Freightliner Coronado, 89,000 for this. It's got 1 million miles, so a little high when you compare the mileage. I mean, it does say fresh overhaul of paperwork, so if you can verify that, and you definitely know that it was rebuilt, a little bit easier to stomach that $89,000 price tag for sure. We'll keep going. Man, I wonder if, oh no, this is a very similar truck to another truck that I almost bought that was actually a scam truck. When you're looking for trucks, you really want to be careful. Do all your rig dig, VIN checks, Carfax. Semis have Carfax, so you can figure out if just what the history is. It's going to be the most accurate on semi trucks because semi trucks aren't like regular automobiles as far as their history reports. But You gotta be careful because I was looking at a truck very similar to this one, and I ran the VIN verified, the rig dig, and a Carfax, and it was a truck very similar to this. It was just a flat top version, and it actually ended up being, it was wrecked. It was actually originally a gold truck, and they're selling it as a green truck. So I don't know if they, stole the title, not on this truck, but on a different truck. I want to make that clear. It's not this truck here, but it was a truck that was similar to this one. It was flat top. So again, I don't see anything about the mileage, which is I hate when they do that. It's like, why don't you just put the mileage? That leads me to believe that it's very high mileage if they're not really wanting to, I guess, advertise what the mileage is. Says good miles. But what's good miles mean? This is what I go through when I'm looking for trucks to buy. Yeah, nothing on here shows the mileage. I highly doubt the pictures are as well, because the same dealer, they don't want to put the mileage on there. I mean, the trucks look fairly clean, but like I said, always got to check that history report, because there's all kinds of crazy stuff that can be going on. Okay, so some fine shows of miles, 526,000 miles. For what this truck is, that's a little high on the price, but the Freightliner Coronados and the Columbias they spiked pretty high for a little while there, but then they really didn't go as crazy as like what the Peterbilt or Kenworth went. They really skyrocketed, where the Freightliners, they went real high and then they came down. And some of these have come down a little bit, but not. I've seen ones for way better prices than this in the last year or so. Here's a 2020, a pretty good looking truck, especially if you take that airfoil off, for 100,000. It's 500,000 miles. It's got a Detroit 60 series in it, probably a 12.7. This is definitely a decent option if this is what you're looking for. Obviously, like, I'm gonna keep hounding this to all my viewers out there. Do your checks on the vehicle. Go out, put eyes on it. Do the Carfax, the VIN verify, and the rig dig. Because usually if the truck was wrecked, it'll show up on those at least. If they've done like some weird slight modifications, that might not show up, but definitely the major issues you're looking at will usually show up. So overall, this is a pretty clean example. It's got the APU already on there. Let's see. Pretty clean on the underneath the hood. Not a lot of rust, which I like to see. I like a little trick that I like to find trucks that are rust free, and the interior is looking pretty good. Just initially, like I said, 500,000 miles. This truck's got plenty of life left in it for $100,000, and if this will do the job you're looking for it to do, this would be a good truck for a very long time. It would have been nice to see an 18-speed or a 13-speed, but a 10-speed still, it'll do the job. And the cabinets are nice. Everything's pretty nice in here. The cabinets are in good shape. These cabinets usually start to, rattle and fall apart. Freightliner is just notorious for that. But overall, very clean truck. Let's keep looking. There's plenty of these to look at, so I'm going to keep going down the list. Here is a 2018 Freightliner for 109. Recent overhaul papers. I'm not even going into this seller because usually I don't put the mileage. Another one for 100,000, 90,000. Let's see here. Here's one a lot cheaper. It's 2016, but it's got a lot of miles. It's got 864,000 miles. Let's see here if this has got. Well, that's kind of condensing, right? Glider 12.7 liter. Price to sell recently reduced. Big Series 60 15 liter Detroit. Okay, well, they're already contradicting themselves. So I'd be skeptical of this one just because their information, they contradict themselves in the first sentence because a 12.7 liter is going to be 12.7. 60 Series 15 liter, that doesn't even exist unless you're like marine application. The biggest one is a 14 liter 60 Series. That's for like for over the road trucks. Another one for 124,000. So it looks like they're going to give us a lot of the Freightliner options. Oh, here's a Kenworth. Right as I say that, they put a Kenworth on here. So here's a 2016 T660, a great aerodynamic over-the-road truck. It's got a 12.7 in it for $90,000. It's only got 268,000 miles on it. And it says it's got a warranty for up to 300,000 miles. I don't know how good or bad that warranty is, so have to double check on that, the details on that. But it's got the, cattle guard in the front. It's got a bigger sleeper, flat top too, which I like. Yeah, if you're looking for a pre-emission truck that isn't going to break the bank, this might be a very good option. Pretty clean. I mean, they probably did a repaint on that frame as from what it looks like. So you don't really know what was underneath that, but if you look at the other little indicators, you can kind of see, what the true truck looked like before they sprayed it. So it looks pretty clean here. Nothing to. I like this two-piece, valve cover. For servicing, this makes it super easy because you can just take this top piece off, get to all your injectors. I love the two-piece manifolds on the Detroit 60 series. It makes it so easy. Like even my glider didn't have this. It had the one piece, which it's not impossible to service, but it's just a lot harder to service if you need to. I was actually looking for this two-piece case here, but I couldn't really find anything online. Yeah, so this is a pretty clean truck. What's the interior look like? If the interior is as good as the outside, I mean, not too bad. It's got a 13-speed in it, so perfect for the highway. Good highway truck. It's well equipped. Yeah, I'm actually kind of shocked that the prices are not too crazy expensive for this truck. Yeah, that's good. Let's keep on going. Let's keep on looking at this. Here's a day cab. 90,000 miles on, or $90,000 roughly, with 817,000 miles. It's not horrible, but it's not the best deal out there. But you're definitely going to pay a premium for the Kenworth, like the T800s, W900s. Here's another example. A little bit lower mileage, so you're going to pay a little more, 127,000. Not too bad. This one's a little high. I mean, they did do an overhaul, so they're probably pricing this a lot higher. It does have almost 1 million miles on it. So with that being said, $100,000 if you're looking for a day cab, which I know most people out there are probably looking for a sleeper. So here we go. This is like kind of what proves my point. The W900s are still a lot pricier. So you're looking at $157,000 for a day cab with 770,000 miles, and it's not a cat; it's just a Detroit. Which Detroit's a great motor, but I mean that's it's a cheap motor overhaul. So, and they said it has a fresh overhaul, so at least that's good. You got that going for you. Here is a 2015 W900 for $130,000. But once again, they're not going to show us the mileage. Here's another W900 for $135,000. That's a little pricey given that it's 762,000 miles. This dealer seems to, most of the trucks are freshly overhauled. So that's a little bit better option. Here is a 2014 W900, 127 with 361,000 miles. Low miles, that's good. Not too horrible if you don't need a sleeper. Here we go. So here's a Peterbilt 388. I don't know, $129,000 for 200,000 miles. That might be a pretty good deal. It says it's a Crate Detroit 60 series. So if that's a brand new motor in there, I don't know if that's what they're saying that's what's in there, or if they just put this new motor. Let me look here. Warranty up to 300K. So this might have a fresh, new block in it, which is awesome. That's not a bad price. I mean, you're pretty much getting a, brand new motor, only 200,000 miles. I wonder if the 200,000 miles, and that's the thing you need to look for is when you're looking at these trucks and they say they've been rebuilt, fresh crate motor, and you see a mileage of 202,000. That seems a little low to me. So a lot of times they'll actually put a mileage of what's on the motor, not on the truck. So we're going to go in here and see if we can't see an odometer picture, see if the actual odometer matches what they're saying on that mileage. Oh, look at that nice, new, shiny Detroit. I'm actually curious as to where they got this from. I need to figure out how to source these. Or they might have just had it sitting on a shelf somewhere in a warehouse. And they decided to throw it in here. Let's see if we can find a odometer pick. Because if this truck only has 200,000 miles on it, at the brand new motor, that is going to be a really good deal. But I mean, I'm seeing some wear though. I don't know that it honestly only has that amount of mileage. I'll leave the description in a second. They might denote that. Yeah, so here we go. Perfect example. It's just a mileage. Yeah, so 981,000 miles on the chassis. This is where you got to be careful when you're looking at trucks for sale. It's like trickery. So mileage, that's why I was like, holy crap, this is a really good deal, because if this truck only has 200,000 miles on it, this is one heck of a deal. But then you look at the odometer, and the chassis got 1,000,000 miles on it. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that, but you just need to be aware of that, and you might, that might slip past you when you're looking at stuff. Hey, Jason, you have a good day too. No problem. I like doing these live streams, so that's definitely something to be aware of. Don't always trust the mileage that they put down here on the description, because that may not, and they might denote that too. A lot of times they'll in the description they'll tell you that the new motor's got 200,000 miles on it and that the chassis has 1,000,000 miles. A lot of times the description will denote that, but other times they're kind of trying to slip one through, and so you got to really look at that. I mean, it's still not, I mean, it's kind of high to be honest with you, but it's not a most horrible deal. And once again, truck paper is going to make me go all the way through these, not leave off where we left it. Just give me a second to find back where we were. Let's see here. Thanks for the thumbs up. Let me know if there's a specific model you guys want me to look at. So here we go. Wow, they actually put the mileage on this one. So 440,000 miles for $154,000. This is more in line like what you're going to be looking to pay, about 150 for a glider, and you'd hope that it has under, 500,000 miles. Let's see here. So I'll be on here for a few more minutes. So let me know if you guys want me to look at any specific makes or models, Peterbilt's, Kenworths. So this has 733,000 miles on it. It is a 550 horsepower cat, which is good. That's $150,000. And they claim that it has been rebuilt. So, the market dictates the price. This might not be horrible. Let's see what else we can find. And usually, Kenworths and Peterbilts with Detroit 12.7 liters are going to be a lot cheaper than gliders with like cats and whatnot in them, which is understandable. Everyone wants that, 550, 600 horsepower cat in their gliders. You can find, I like the 14-liter Detroit 550 horse gliders, but those are really hard to find because they're not ELD exempt, unfortunately, but they are, emissions exempt. Here's another 389, 670,000 miles, 137. That seems to be about the price range for a Detroit Peterbilt glider, or a glider with a Detroit in it. It's about 140 to 150 range is what I'm kind of seeing. So this is what I like. Not so much the day cab, but this one has the big horsepower Detroit 14-liter. Usually they're advertised as 515. Some of them will come with 550 horse motors. You can usually easily turn them up to that 550 mark with little to no issues. 433 and a fresh overall too, so that's a good deal. Let's see here. It's another Peterbilt fresh overhaul. So these guys must get very good deals on overhauls, or they have a good deal worked out to do them in house. Because almost every truck I've seen has had an overhaul done, and if they give you all the providing paperwork and the proof of it, that's pretty good. So there we go again. Here's another one that I'm assuming this is not the original mileage on the truck, 202,000. Truck's probably got a lot more miles than that. But it is a crate motor, new crate motor in there. I want to know where they're finding these crate motors at, and what they're paying for them. Because given the price of the truck, they must not be paying a crazy amount for the crate Detroit 12.7 motors. Just given what the market is, they're paying a lot of money. The price of trucks is going to be a lot more. So I would assume that they're not paying very much for these. Well, when I say very much, you got to take that with a grain of salt compared to the competitive motor choices out there. I talked to a company that basically rebuilds trucks, and their brand new cat motors that are basically pre-emission are around $60,000. So I don't think that truck would be, let's see, let's go back up here. I highly doubt they paid $60,000 for the motor. That would not be a $129,000 truck. So that's what leads me to believe that it's probably these 12.7 liter Detroit crate motors are probably substantially cheaper than that. Because yeah, if this is a $60,000 or I'm sorry, $60,000 crate motor like a Cat, I would assume its price would be probably more like 180. So I'm really curious to see, which I actually might call these guys and ask them like, hey, what's your contact for those crate motors? Here's another one, 124, 331,000 miles. So they must be buying, you know, I almost wonder if they're doing the assembled title on these, which is like kind of a workaround for it's kind of the new era glider. I don't know, like, I mean, these trucks aren't, unless they're refurbishing the trucks aren't too awfully horribly beat up. So I wonder if they're taking a, you know, decent truck and turning it into a glider, which is with like a symbol title, or if they're just sourcing these trucks, refurbishing them. And then, you know, because you imagine if they're already gliders to begin with, they probably had Cats in them. So either that, you know, it was more cost effective to just throw a crate 12.7 Detroit in there versus yeah. So I mean, these are, let's see what I hope it shows. So let's see here. I saw it. It's definitely more than 200,000 miles. Maybe they'll show it, maybe they won't. I saw the odometer and it was definitely, oh, come on. Let's do some investigating here. I might be able to zoom on this image and see what the mileage is on the truck. Maybe we can enhance. So that looks like 832,000 miles. So I don't know if they're just finding existing gliders and ripping whatever motor was in there and putting a 12.7 Detroit. I don't know if they're sourcing them or if they're actually, you know, just have them in a warehouse somewhere. You know, a lot of people are stockpiling motors at the end there. Like, here's a 434,000 mile 389 for $154,000, and it's got a Cat 550 in it. Original miles. Oh, this is actually a heavy spec truck. Pretty decent looking truck. All right, so just gonna do a quick video. Thank you guys for commenting, all the thumbs up. But yeah, that's pretty much what the market's looking like. You guys can rewatch this to kind of see what kind of prices it looks like for a, you know, not gently used, but a you know, a decently used truck. You know, you're gonna pay about 130 to 150,000 for a relatively decent glider. Wow, this is a if this is original mileage, this is a pretty good deal for $130,000 for a 223,000 mile truck with a Cat in it. Crate motor, okay. So this is a crate motor with only 223,000. So the plot thickens. I wonder what they're doing with these, because this truck does not have 223,000 miles on it. This is just a motor. But also those Detroit 12.7 liters, I wonder if they were actually truly new motors or if they were just a used crate motor out of a different truck. They look pretty clean though. They almost look brand new, but they can paint them and freshen them up. Wow, this is a pretty low mileage Coronado glider for $165,000. I mean, only 137,000 miles. If this is a if this is all original, that's a pretty good low mileage truck. What you're gonna pay for it? You're gonna pay 165,000. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Just want to show you some glider current market prices of what gliders are going for. You know, at one point there a couple years ago, they were like sky high in prices. I mean, you couldn't touch decent, you know, and we didn't get into like really crazy clean gliders, but you couldn't touch a decent one for under $170,000. So to see okay options here for 120 to 140. What's up, Trucking 68? Trucks jam. Trucks just are way overpriced now for junk trucks. Yeah, sometimes they definitely are. You're not wrong about that. Sometimes these prices are crazy expensive for what you're getting. But kind of comparing the market to what it was a couple years ago, prices have definitely cooled off. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're looking at. Well, here's a crazy price, $245,000. I mean, it's typical to see a truck like this for $100,000 with 1.1 million miles. So it wasn't unheard of to see a crazy high mileage truck with a six-figure price tag as a glider. So that's about half of what they were, you know, a couple years ago, which is kind of good to see if you're looking for a glider. But I'm gonna try to do these more frequently, probably like a couple times a week, maybe, and get into like a every other day situation. But we can pick this search up another day and look at more specific, like real clean examples of, you know, the most popular, you know, models like 379 or 389s and W900s, like this truck here. So this is what I remember seeing. And this one was rebuilt at 100,000 or with 100,000 miles ago, it was rebuilt. But this was like more typical of like what we saw a couple of years ago was this, you know, almost $200,000 price tag for a truck that's literally got, you know, 800,000, 600,000, 900,000 miles. So some places the price have gone down. Some people are just still asking the moon for these trucks. But that's all I got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in and watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.